Hi there, Ian Smith here with FedSmith.com, here to bring you some new information about the 2026 federal pay raise, but more specifically about the special pay raise or the higher pay raise that was set aside for certain categories of law enforcement personnel. The Office of Personnel Management has issued some new information about this and how it's going to work. So I'm going to go over it here with you quickly. But first, just to quickly recap, if you hadn't already heard, the 2026 federal pay raise is going to be 1%, most likely. That's what President Trump proposed in his alternative pay plan letter. And I'll include a link in the description to an article and another video with some more information about all this. But he proposed a 1% across the board pay raise for most federal employees, primarily general schedule federal employees, and no increase in locality pay. But he also included an additional pay raise of 3.8% total for law enforcement federal employees in certain categories. And that's what I wanted to cover today. The Office of Personnel Management, OPM, has put out some additional information about who this would affect, most likely, and how this would work. According to OPM, it said that it expects the following law enforcement categories to likely be included in this pay raise. Those are Customs and Border Protection. This includes law enforcement, including Border Patrol agents, CBP officers, Air and Marine interdiction agents. Immigration and Customs Enforcement personnel, including criminal investigators, i.e., special agents, detention and deportation officers, and technical enforcement officers. Secret Service personnel, to include the Uniform Division, special agents, and technical law enforcement. Federal Protective Service officers, Federal Bureau of Prisons correctional officers, Federal Bureau of Investigation special agents, Drug Enforcement Administration agents, U.S. Marshal Service officers, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive special agents, and the National Park Service, U.S. Park Police officers. These positions are considered critical to the Trump administration's law enforcement and border security strategy. And so that's why this special rate has been proposed for the higher pay raise. It's to help with recruitment and retention of these employees. Now, what are these special salary rates? Well, what's happening here is that OPM said it's using its special salary rate authority to make this extra pay increase. And it's doing so after consulting with other federal agencies. As far as these special salary rates themselves, OPM says this, quote, special salary rates may be established by OPM to address existing or likely significant recruitment or retention problems for groups or categories of employees under the general schedule and other pay systems. The recruitment or retention problem may be due to significantly higher non-federal pay rates, location remoteness, undesirability of the working conditions, or any other circumstances OPM considers appropriate. Special rates are set higher than regular locality pay rates and are typically applied to specific geographic areas and/or job categories. Special rates are basic pay for most purposes, e.g., retirement, overtime pay, and other premium pay, and incentives computed as a percentage of base pay. And as I said before, this is what the president proposed. He wanted to give the higher pay raise to law enforcement federal employees to match the 3.8% raise that's being given to military personnel next year. And OPM noted this as well in the new information they've released. Um, they said that certain frontline law enforcement personnel are critical to implementing the president's strategy to secure the border, protect our country, and keep American citizens safe. Without special salary rates, the government may find it difficult to recruit and or retain the number of these personnel needed to properly enforce our borders, uphold our immigration laws, and protect law-abiding citizens. And the last point of interest on this, assuming that Congress doesn't get involved and override the president's proposed pay raise, which seems unlikely at this point, it's always possible, but it just seems unlikely, then the pay raise will go into effect when President Trump issues an executive order late in the year. It's usually mid to late December. And at that time, OPM will then publish the finalized pay tables. So that's when we'll know the final pay figures for certain. And OPM notes that in the information that it's released about this. It said that it anticipates releasing the special rate tables again at the end of the calendar year after consulting with agencies on coverage and approving the special rates. And also, it tentatively expects the effective date to be January 11th, 2026. That's also the date that the pay raise, the 1% across the board pay raise for most federal employees would be going into effect. I hope you found this summary of the information from OPM on the special pay raise for law enforcement personnel to be helpful. Please visit the fedsmith.com website. We've got a number of articles on the 2026 federal pay raise, as well as many other topics that current and former federal employees will find helpful. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.